Pretty. So if you were to give advice to a 30-year-old self, what would that advice be? Looking back.
Be kinder.
Be kinder. You were kind? Or?
I wasn't a douchebag, but I can definitely recognize circumstances where I could have been much more understanding, much more empathetic, much more compassionate. And by the way, that applies to others, but even more to myself.
Okay.
I am hyperly self-critical. And by the way, that's really common in the corporate space.
Yeah.
And on the entrepreneurship space. Like high performance generally happens because we are constantly lashing ourselves, like perform. And that's not healthy.
No.
I've lived many, many years of like self-flagellation at all levels, at like corporate performance levels and educational levels and just personal levels.
And you triathlon as well.
Exactly. That's another huge, like, I want to inflict pain on myself, right? So I hop onto a bike for 4 hours and just suffer the hell out of it. And then get off of it and be like, yeah, I suffer, right? There's something weird about that. And so I would tell myself 10 years ago, I would be like, dude, kindness helps you lead a much healthier life. And it helps others do the same.
But I suppose you still need some of that kind of self-improvement.
Totally. And so this is an interesting conversation that I have sometimes with people, particularly when I talk about compassion and self-compassion, because that's another area that we've been really introducing into our leadership work at Pracademy. People think that kindness and compassion and all these kinds of things and empathy, it's like you're being weak. Right? You're letting yourself off the hook, right? You're being lazy, right? You're not being rigorous enough. And I would say that that's a terrible misunderstanding of what we really mean by compassion and kindness. When I say compassionate and kind, you need to keep the bar high, but if you don't make it, if you don't jump over that bar, you need to figure out ways to learn from it in a really soothing, authentic and kind fashion, right?
That's interesting.
And if you set the bar high and you don't make it, because most of the times we're setting the bar higher and higher, and want more money, and nicer car, and bigger house, and bigger position, and right, you will eventually fall. And when you fall and you treat yourself like shit, you're not going to learn from it, right? So it's not only being kind, but it's also being really smart, right? But it's a difficult, subtle differentiation there between letting yourself off the hook and just treating yourself with a little bit more kindness. Did I kind of describe